A different shopping experience for me yesterday. I went shopping to my local Aldi, which is literally a 5-minute wheel up the road for me, with my daughter. And we were getting some shopping, and this little girl looked at my prosthetic hand and she was like, and she looked petrified, bless her. So I said, it's okay. This is my hand. It helps me to do things. And so does this one. So I explained that somebody gave me this hand because the doctor had to cut off my hands and legs because I'd had sepsis. And you've got to be careful, obviously, with children to explain it in a way that they would understand. And I don't think a child would understand me having a hand from somebody else. So I kind of left that one alone. I just kind of explained that this is a new hand and it was from someone else. They gave me it. And that was it. It was more about the prosthetic, and it doesn't hurt. It's quite nice. And so my daughter touched it and sort of said, let's do a high five. We've done a high five. And her mum gave me a high five. And so then the little girl wanted to give me a high five. I actually held her mum's hand as well because she put her hand out for me to hold it. She said, can I hold it? I said, yeah, of course. And it was so lovely. Then a little boy came past and he was looking. I said, do you like my bionic hand? And he was asking questions a little bit. And then there was another little girl a bit further on with her mum. So I gave her a little wave and I said, do you like my hand? And she was like, yeah. And you could see the children were really interested in learning about my hand. Now, those of you that haven't seen me before, my name is Kim and I had all 4 limbs amputated in 2018 because I developed a UTI that then developed into sepsis and septic shock. If you don't know what sepsis is, wait until the end of this video and I will attach something. Please screenshot it, keep it safe and refer to it if ever you are really unwell and you know you've got an infection. Or you may not know you've got an infection, but you're starting to get these symptoms. Refer to this leaflet and get to hospital extremely fast. Sepsis can kill so fast. It's so important that everybody learns these symptoms. I just want to take a moment to thank everybody that's newly subscribed. I have had so many join recently and it's absolutely incredible. I'm not one of those YouTubers that are making money from my YouTube. I am literally doing it to raise awareness. So obviously I raise awareness of sepsis. I've had a hand transplant, so I'm raising awareness about transplants and hand transplants because a lot of people aren't aware that that's even possible. And obviously prosthetic limbs as well, which is, I've got a bionic hand. Who'd have thought, the NHS would give me an amazing bionic hand. It's absolutely incredible. So please follow my journey if you don't already. Go and subscribe, hit the bell for notifications and come and join me for more information. Sepsis kills over 11 million people every single year. It then leaves you with something called PSS for short, post-sepsis syndrome. I have been suffering the symptoms of post-sepsis syndrome for over 8 years. And it is debilitating at times. Like recently, I've got insomnia again. I'm waking up at like 3 in the morning and can't get back to sleep. And then by about 8 o'clock at night, I'm absolutely exhausted. But because of medication that I have to take every day, I can't go to bed until 10 o'clock because I have to have this medication. So I usually go to bed at 10 o'clock and then I'm awake. So then I'll read for an hour or so. I was reading until midnight last night and then I was awake at 3. And this is how it goes. And it's horrible. And then another time, I'll sleep really well. And it's just, one of those things. My hair's thinned. My hair is so thin, it's unbelievable. And I said to my daughter, I blow dried it this morning on the top. And the way I blow dry it, because I used to be a hairdresser, I can make it look a bit thicker. But literally, I've got a couple of hairs on top now. It is so thin. My daughter highlighted it for me yesterday, so it looks a bit thicker because it's so blonde, I think. But honestly, it's so thin. And I actually said to her yesterday, if it thins much more, I think I'm going to get a wig. So I started looking on TikTok and these wigs came up. I'm sure they hear you talking. These wigs came up and I was like, oh, and they actually have got some hair. It looks like they're much thinner than what mine is, but they were putting on a band that held the wig in place. And I was like, oh, I wondered how people with hair, even being thin hair, actually managed to put a wig on, because I've seen people with no hair putting like a special glue on their head to put the wig on, but I didn't know how people with hair would would put the wig on, because obviously you can't put glue on your hair. So it was quite fascinating, and I thought, well, if my hair does thin much more, I will definitely be getting a wig. Anyway, more about sepsis symptoms. I had slurred speech, and I put that down to the medication that I used to take. I thought it was that was making me have the slurred speech. I also had confusion, but I didn't realise at the time, obviously, because I was so confused. I had extremely severe shivering, and I couldn't stop shivering. I'd got thick jumpers on, I'd got the central heating on, I'd got blankets around me, and I could not get warm. I had really cold hands and feet. I'd got a hot water bottle under my feet. I'd got several pairs of really thick, fluffy socks on, and I couldn't get them warm. Nothing I did was working. I wasn't passing any urine that day, but I hadn't really noticed. I was really, really feeling rough, really, really like I'd never felt in my life. And that's when I decided that I needed to go to the local hospital. And I went to the hospital. I told them dolor aquí, which means pain here, and pointed to my left kidney side, which is where I started to get pain really bad. I'd had no symptoms of a UTI, but I suspected it was a UTI that had gone to my kidneys, and it was later discovered the following day, actually, that it was a UTI. And they just x-rayed my back and sent me away. I was in Spain, so the language barrier was a problem. I didn't know how to tell them, I think I have a kidney infection. I knew the word infection, but I thought, well, there's no good me saying kidney infection. They won't understand what I'm saying. So I didn't even say infection. Maybe I should have. Maybe, had I have said infection, they might have done other tests. Who knows? Who knows? One of those things. It happens in this country too. You know, in the UK. I'm from the UK for those that are watching from other countries. I don't blame the Spanish authorities, because it happens all around the world. Everywhere in the world. Doctors and medical professionals are missing it still. There's a very fine line between being in sepsis and being into septic shock when it's dangerous. So sepsis, you know, you're kind of bordering getting into a dangerous territory. Septic shock is extremely dangerous, because you are going to die in literally hours. So you need to learn these symptoms. So please screenshot this that I put at the end. Keep following me for more updates. You know, get that subscribe button hit and hit those notifications. Follow my journey for the hand transplant, for the bionic hand, and for sepsis awareness. It is so important that we get this information out there. It needs to be spread all around the world to everybody, so that people stop dying. Over 11 million people every year are dying from sepsis because they don't know the symptoms. Please share this information with your friends and your family. Share one of my videos. Share just this leaflet that I put at the end. Anything, but share sepsis information to warn people. Don't end up losing all your limbs or dying because you think it won't happen to you, because honestly, it could be you. It can be anybody at any time. Thank you so much for listening. I hope you've enjoyed this. Please comment below. Take care, and thank you so much.